Good morning. Welcome to your Thursday morning cup of cyber. Brought to you this morning by Illy Coffee in Kansas City. Kansas City, here we come. Obviously, we're not actually sponsored by Illy Coffee. It's just a dang good cup of coffee.
Congratulations! World's best cup of coffee.
I think so. Maybe it is. So, this morning we're jumping into the RMF train again, and we're going to look at the categorization step of RMF 2.0. Very similar to what was occurring in the categorization step back in the original RMF. We've added an additional task, but that task is, again, like most of the time in RMF 2.0, that task has always been here. We've just formalized it and made it something that can be pointed to. That seemed to be the problem in the past, is if there wasn't a defined task, some of the implied requirements were just avoided. So jumping right into here, we'll look at the first task. And the first task is C1. And again, we've removed the numbering scheme from the step. So this used to be step 1. Now NIST is calling it the categorization step. So just getting rid of the numbering. This task used to be actually 1.2, so it wasn't the first task in this step. It was the second task. They moved it up a little bit. Now we'll define the details about the system, what the system does, who the system owner is, what levels of protections we think we need to put on this thing. So there's some good information that we'll provide from the old video on the categorization step. I'll link it up here somewhere after the live stream. You can jump in there, and that'll tell you essentially all you need to know about RMF 2.0. The task itself has not changed. Just the way we've set it up has changed. So we've moved it up a little bit. Still, we're going to start building the system security plan, and that's what this is, just the front of the system security plan, defining the system, what it does, that kind of stuff. The second task in the categorization step is the actual security categorization. That's where we go through and define the types of information that'll be on the system and any other information that will be used to determine how sensitive the system is and the information that's actually on the system. So this will provide the foundation for what controls will be applied initially to the system. Obviously, we're a long way from the finish of this, but in the SDLC, we're still planning for this system to be built. So what goes on with the system in this step is really determining how many controls we're going to apply to it initially. Later on, in a future step, we'll take that initial baseline and we'll get it right-sized for the system. We'll remove controls, we'll add controls, we'll do those kind of things. So in this step, we'll use NIST Special Publication 860 that's going to talk about information types, and we'll look at the information types that the system will process, and that'll help us to determine our initial security categorization. So if you're the system owner, you're going to have to know, plan on knowing what your system is going to do and what type of information it's going to process, right? And that's going to set our initial categorization step, and that'll help us build our initial baseline of controls. And then finally, when we get done with this, we develop the categorization, and normally we're going to use something like FIPS 199 or the FIPS 199 worksheet to determine this. We'll develop the security categorization. We may have a specific form we fill out, and we will send that off to leadership. Generally, it's the authorizing official or the authorizing official's designated representative or folks from their shop that will look at the categorization. They'll review it. They'll make sure it looks right. And if it looks right, they'll approve it. So if you want to look at categorization, again, after the live stream, I'll throw a link up above, one of those clickable tiles, and you can look at the categorization process from RMF 1.0. Again, the task hasn't changed, other than we flip-flopped tasks 1.1 and 1.2. They've changed places, and now they are Now they're in this new RMF 2.0. And that's really what you need to know about the categorization step. Again, like always, later on, we're going to dive deeper into each of the tasks in each of the steps of RMF 2.0. But know now, well, I'll put those two tiles up above. You can click on them. You can check out the system description and the system categorization from RMF 1.0. They really don't change that much. So a quick down and dirty cup of cyber this morning. Really everything you need to know about the high-level look at the categorization step of RMF 2.0. Again, like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified. Comment down below. Let me know what you want to hear, and we will update accordingly to cover what you need. Jim, enjoy your morning. Be safe out there, and we will see you tomorrow.